Okay, so what we have here is I'm going to make a Tudor style dress for my niece. And so I always start with, a picture of kind of what I'm thinking. So I want, a tie-up bodice and like an overskirt that's attached to the bodice with an shirt underneath and a separate skirt. So 3 parts. I pick out my fabric. So this, wow, looks purple on my camera, but it's blue. This will be the bodice part. This dark blue will be the overskirt. And this gold matches her mom's dress and is going to be the underskirt. Now, what I like to do with kids, because it's hard to get a good sizing on a pattern, is I'll actually go and get a t-shirt size for both girls and boys, and then draw over the top of the t-shirt. So for Sophie, the t-shirt I bought is 1 size too big for her, but that will give me some seam allowance. So I just traced, I have sewing tracing paper, traced along the shirt what I wanted the top to look like. Okay, and then I'm going to add a seam here just to give that nice look. I could do it flat too, but I think this is going to look a little bit better. Then I also do the back side, which I should have pinned down for better looking, but as you can see, the neckline's a little bit higher, and it's just straight across the back. This will line up this point and sewn to the middle here. These pieces line up, and they're the same length. Okay, so that is how I draft the pattern, at least the top part. And skirts are easy because they're just a circle. So okay, so this is a royal blue linen cotton blend bed sheet. Yeah, and I am making skirt panels out of it. And one of the tricks I use is so I don't have to hem the bottom is I use the edges of the sheet because they're already sewed really nicely. The skirts are super forgiving, so I just take a couple of measurements and draw a big triangle, and that usually works just fine. Okay, so I cut all the pieces out. I sewed the lining together and the fashion fabric. I added some trim to the bottom and to the little cuff thingies. So the next thing I think I'm going to do is there's supposed to be an overskirt that's going to get attached to this. So I'm going to do that. And then when I'm done adding the overskirt, I will then go around the edges of the fashion fabric and the liner to do a bias trim around it, which will finish the edge. And the reason why I'm waiting is so that I can run the bias over the top of this and over where this connects with the overskirt, because there's always kind of a weird connection point between the bodice and the top, which I see a lot with my doublets when I do doublets and peplum, that this joint here doesn't always seem to line up quite right. So I think I'm going to cover it so we can't see it. So this is so far how far this top bodice is coming for Sophie.